Unlocking levels, unlocking levels, unlocking levels. Hosted by Seal the Source. Tap in.
Welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Levels. I'm your boy CL the Source, your friendly neighborhood hope dealer. Thank you once again for tapping in. This is episode 18, 19. I'm not even sure. I'm losing count. I've been doing my best to stay on track with giving y'all at least one episode a week. It's been to be quite honest with you, sometimes it can be a lot, especially when you've already got a lot on your plate. But it's a commitment that I made to myself, and more importantly to y'all. It's something that um, I definitely feel that I'm privileged to get to do, in creating this platform and being able to connect with people from all over the world, people that are listening to this or however you're viewing it. If you're watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you're picking this up, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tapping in. Life's been kind of crazy lately. I'm not gonna lie. It's gotten real in a lot of different ways. As I've mentioned several times throughout the past, it's been really busy at the restaurant I've been working at. I'm helping the family business with my uncle, and things have just been getting a little chaotic. It's a small family business, and with that comes a lot. We churn out a lot of food, a lot of orders. We've been getting a lot of business, which is all great stuff. It's keeping us busy. It's keeping us afloat. It's keeping the doors open. Um, and it's great stuff. So there's no real complaint on that end. What I will say though is with that comes a lot of work, and with a lot of work can come a lot of stress, can come a lot of chaos, can come a lot of drama from time to time. To be quite honest with you, because we are a very small team, and we can. There's a lot of potential to collide and bump heads and things of that nature, and it's happened, and it happens from time to time, almost like I always make the comparison to like an NBA team or even any sports team. When a coach and a player or a player and a player have a disagreement, and sometimes you see the real ugly side of that. Fortunately, it hasn't gotten to that point at all at where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, where physicality has become something that, we have to watch out for, you know what I'm saying? So, there's definitely nothing to be said there about that. But, we do have our disagreements from time to time. But ultimately cooler heads must prevail. Um, and what I realized as I've been in the thick of it myself most recently, and I'm being very transparent with y'all because y'all family to me, you know what I'm saying? I connect with y'all. And you guys know every time I talk, it's always with the intent to share something, to add value to something that I learned, something that I've applied into my life to make the situation better, to keep my eye on the prize, to whatever the case may be, to just like overall keep the situation or make your entire experience of life, give it that enhancement that it needs, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, like most recently, I'm gonna spare the details, but most recently, got into a little heated argument over something very small. But again, with all that stuff that goes on within such a small confined place, and a lot of work that's being done, there's always that potential. Like one little thing could trigger something. It could trigger a reaction, could trigger a response, all sorts of things, and then words are said, and then you hash it out, you know what I'm saying? So right now I'm at a place where I've just realized very how true this is, that everything in life really is happening for your own good. It's happening for your highest good. Sometimes you may not understand why certain things are happening the way they're happening or happen the way that they happen, but that's because the universe has a higher plan for you. Sometimes the universe has to knock you off on your ass for you to learn a lesson so that you can redirect yourself, It's the universe's way of redirecting you on your path, because you may be going in a wrong direction, or you might have made the wrong choice, or you're constantly making the wrong choices. You're deviating away from your purpose, your mission, and what you're supposed to be doing, what you're intended to be doing, what you were designed to be doing in this life. And for me, um, I pretty much expressed this a while ago that um, I had my hesitations about working in a restaurant business again for my own personal reasons, and I expressed why not too long ago. And just for a refresher, there is a lot of stress associated in this industry. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of a lot of tricky situations that you got to navigate through and manage, and it can be very taxing, mentally, physically, just very draining. And anybody that has worked in a restaurant, especially a fast-paced one, can can very much agree with that. And if you're not emotionally balanced, you can really get knocked off your rocker a little bit, and it can take you for a spin. Now, with that being said, um, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that I'm pulling the plug or doing anything like that. But what I am saying is, I had my hesitations, and now I think it was more than just hesitations. It was also because the universe is telling me that I'm not designed to be working in a restaurant the rest of my life. And no knock on anybody who works in a restaurant or anything like that. That's Please don't take no offense to that, because I think restaurant work is some of the hardest work to do. It's some of the most respectable work. I've met some of my closest friends working in restaurants, in the service industry. And I'm very thankful for I've learned so much from it. It's given me so much. So I have the utmost respect for the profession. I just think that the what I'm getting, the message I'm receiving from the universe is to just, it's like a reminder almost to stay focused and committed to what I committed myself to originally. And when you figure out what your purpose is, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going straight forward to it. You can't really beat around the bush and bullshit for too long until the universe decides to finally say, "Hey, man, like, you're fucking around again. We got to give you a little wake up call." And I think this situation was kind of exactly that for me, because I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of stuff has kind of taken a back seat since I've joined the restaurant. One being, and the most important thing being, my health. I definitely am not working out as often as I was prior to working at the restaurant. I definitely am eating a lot worse. My sleeping habits are a lot worse. Um, I'm still keeping up with my daily meditation habits. I'm reading every day for the most part. I do my very best to get my push-ups in and get some activity in. So there's certain things I'm still keeping up with, but also a lot has taken that back seat. And I think this is the universe's way of telling me, like, yo, bro, like, you might need to reconsider everything that you're doing, because I'm the type of person that when I commit to something, I go all in. I'm all the way in over here. I'm uncle's restaurant. Why wouldn't I be, right? It's a family restaurant. Um, you know, it feels like you're doing the right thing. And I do believe I am. And when I'm there, I give it my all. And even when I'm not there, I'm committing, I'm doing stuff on the side. Um, and I'm that committed to making this thing work. And it's been working very well. We've generated a lot of business, and we've seen this thing really kind of show like its full potential. We're just scratching the surface of what this thing can do. But at the same time, this little altercation I had within, our inner circle over here led me to think about a lot of different things, and brought me to a realization that, like, hey man, ultimately this is not my dream. I think I've always had ambitions of either owning my own restaurant, owning my own business, but at the same time, this particular concept, this particular restaurant, this is not mine. Even though it's a family thing, it's not mine. And, um, you know, I think that without really kind of revealing too many details of what happened and what was said or whatever the case may be, it was just a nice slice of humble pie for me to just realize, yo, bro, like this ain't your dream. You already have a dream. You already have your purpose. You already know what you're designed to do. And yeah, it's cool. You can go help here, do your thing wherever you're at. Plant your feet in the ground and work hard and do your best. But don't forget what you're supposed to be doing. And I really do look at it as the universe's way of telling me, bro, you need to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been down this road before where my health was suffering, where I was working way too much, where I was not keeping up with the daily habits that I committed myself to. And, granted, when I was younger and I went down this road, I was a lot more self destructive. I used to drink, I used to smoke, partake in a lot of drugs and things of that nature. I've been clean and sober for almost a year now, and I'm very proud of that. But at the same time, I have other vices that are still controlling me, and I need to work on getting a better grip on that. And I think that this was a nice little wake up call. It shook me in a way that I needed to kind of reassess my situation. And I think that it's going to a perfect segue to bring me to my point and topic of today's discussion, which is everything that happens is happening for your highest good. I'm going to say that again. Everything that happens in your life is happening for your highest good. What do I mean by that? I really mean that even when something drastic happens, something crazy happens, and you don't know why it's happening, you question things. You're like, why is this happening? You can't even make any sense of it. It's happening because it's either redirecting you or it's to wake you up to make you realize something different. And you need to pay attention in these moments. You need to really look at the situation and see what life is trying to teach you in this moment. And I think that that's the case with this situation where it's obviously not really a desirable thing to be kind of going through. You know what I'm saying? It's not the ideal thing to be going through, but if you if you use your ability to change and switch perspectives, you can then look at this as like a good thing. I really do believe that this is happening for my highest good. Without this happening the way it's happening right now, I probably wouldn't come to this realization, and I probably would have kept walking down that road and not paying attention to the little red flags here and there that have been trying to reveal themselves to me for quite some time and telling me like, yo, dude, you need to keep your health on track. You need to make sure you're practicing these daily healthy habits that you committed yourself to, and you need to stop bullshitting. And I think that this is a really big reminder for me, and I'm just very grateful for it, to be honest with you. And you know, I'm a professional. I'm always going to do my best to be cordial in any situation I'm at. Treat people with kindness and respect, and that's not going to change. Now I'm just going to continue to do that and focus more on what I need to focus on, which is this brand, which is the other things that are important to me that I got going on, which is some of the biggest and main reasons why I came out to Hawaii in the first place was to seek solitude, was to kind of detach myself from the everyday comfortability kind of situation that I had back home in San Francisco and the Bay Area. And really just kind of like allow myself space and just really go for my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I definitely, to be transparent, I want to travel around the world. I want to stop in as many places in the world as possible. I want to explore. I want to experience different cultures. You know what I'm saying? I want to I want to become financially free. And that's something that I'm working on all the time. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just trying to understand economics a little bit more better, getting my finances in order, understanding the way money works, and also just opening up different streams of income. I'm going the less traditional route where I'm not going to school, you know what I'm saying, with a degree and going and getting a career job and whatever the case may be, and more power to anybody that has that situation going on in their life. Like if that works for you, that works for you. I'm really great. I'm really glad for you. It's just not in my cards. I just know that I'm not really big into school like that, especially some of the things that they teach that I feel is like not even going to help me in my life. But that's another subject for another time, another discussion for another time. I just know that, in my own reflections, I realized I got to be doing something else. I try to do a deep assessment of my life, um, some of the natural God given gifts and abilities that God has given me, and how I can utilize these to the best of my ability, to serve, to help other people, to inspire, and that leads me to this podcast. You know what I'm saying? This is why I created Unlocking Levels, why it started from Blessed Beyond Measure podcast, because I want to inspire, I want to help. I definitely want to share some of the things that I've been through in my life and be transparent on that front so that I can share how to avoid certain pitfalls and certain things that I went through. I had to fall on my ass to learn. And I want to share that with whoever's willing to listen, whoever taps into this podcast. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been about. And that's what it will forever be about. And what I do is not only for myself, but it's for other people, because I want to show that life can be lived differently than what you've been kind of told that it has to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going, excuse me, I'm definitely going the untraditional route, the unbeaten path, whatever you want to call it. And I'm up for the challenge. I understand it's going to take a lot of time, but I have full faith and full confidence and full belief that things are going to manifest that the way I envision them to. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take me being consistent, putting in the work, um, working on myself every single day, making good choices, putting good energy out. It's a whole combination of different things that need to happen in order for you to achieve true success. And everybody's definition of success is different. There's no doubt about that. My success is different from yours, and from the next man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely working towards my dreams, working towards my goals, and I'm just paying attention to what the universe is trying to tell me in certain situations. I don't necessarily just tune out whatever's happening in my life anymore like I used to. I used to be very, very just ignorant to like what life was trying to teach me. I would be so um I would be so gung ho on just going my own direction, and just thinking I knew everything. And one thing you find out as you gain more experience and become more mature in life is that the more you know, you actually realize there's so much more to learn, and you barely know anything. So I just really do my best to try to stay open-minded to situations, learn from everything, from everyone, and stay active on that front in terms of, trying to um, learn as much as I can. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the process. And I know the direction that I'm supposed to be going in, and I just got to continue to move in that direction and not deviate from that. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the tendency to do that sometimes. And thank God for the universe, and thank whatever you want to call it, the highest source. Thank the highest source for continuously pushing me in the right direction. I have a job to do here while I'm here on earth. So do you. We all have a purpose. We're all designed to do something. And I believe that while I'm still breathing, I still have so much work to do, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep showing up every single day, trying to be the best version of myself, meet the highest version of myself every single day, operate from that space. And yeah, man, just kind of let the chips fall where they may. And so far it's been working out good for me. But what I realize is when I stray away from that plan, stray away from the direction that I'm supposed to be moving in, a lot of things happen that kind of catch me off guard, that kind of knock me off my square a little bit. And man, that's one thing I definitely don't want to happen as much as possible, is for me to be knocked off my square. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me to get frazzled or whatever the case may be, because I definitely a part of personal development and self mastery is just gaining better control of yourself and your emotions and the decisions you make, and just always choosing the proper response rather than reacting off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I practice every single day. And sometimes I still have these triggers that when they are triggered, I react, I say things, I revert back to old ways, and I don't really show myself in my best light. And I accept full responsibility for that. I understand that there's always work to be done. Um, and in those moments when I do react and get triggered, there's so much to learn. There's so much to look at and assess and to just learn from overall. So I look at those moments as very valuable to me. I don't really just toss it aside like I used to. I really kind of marinate on what actually happened, how I could have done things better, what led to what. And there is this stoic saying which says be thankful for your triggers because they point to where you're not free. And for me, as much of an open mind that I feel like I have, and as much as an independent life that I feel like I'm living, there's still so much work to be done. And I think that the work will never be done until you're gone, until you pass away. But I don't know. I can only kind of just focus one day at a time, right? So for me, it's just about when something happens and and it triggers a reaction out of me or whatever the case may be, there's something to be looked at there, something to analyze there, and you got to find out what's laying under all that, what's at the core of why that little thing triggered you, instead of just kind of casting it aside or saying, "Oh, this is just the way I am." No, there's work to be done there. There's something deeper. There's something um more beyond that is the reason why you reacted that way. So for me, I've taken a lot of time for myself, which is great, always great, to really just kind of like look at everything and question myself in a lot of different ways and kind of like shine a light on certain areas in my life. Like, okay, what's going on here? How can I fix this? How can I be better? Right. And that's the fun part, you know. Whatever happened already happened. Whatever said was already said, and it's already in the past. So honestly, you cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. And when you learn from the past and you apply it into the future, that's when you can make better decisions. Better decisions lead to better results, and better results lead to a better experience of life, right? So the more and more you can kind of do that, you can kind of gain more and more momentum in your life. And then sooner than you know it, you're traveling at such a speed with such a trajectory that's going higher and higher. Everything just seems like you're in a flow state. Everything is just happening naturally. And you're asking yourself, like, how is this all happening? How are all these good things happening? It's because you're in a flow state. You're making good decisions. You got momentum. So it's important to kind of, stay in that state of flow, not go too fast, not go too slow, stay on course, stay on path. But when you deviate or you go off the road a little bit, the universe has your back. The universe is going to do something to wake you up, to, get you back on point. And that's exactly what's going on here. I've assessed my situation, and I know now even more so what I need to do, what I need to focus back on, or what I need to refocus back on. And yeah, that's the way you're gonna always operate from your highest self. There's no doubt about that. So um everything is happening for your highest good. Even the most craziest, turbulent, most chaotic shit that happens in your life, it's all happening for your highest good. I know that might sound crazy to some, but if you really just sit with whatever's happening in your life and you try to assess the situation in your own right and get introspective, and you really take a a cold, hard look at what's going on, there's something to be gained. There's something to be learned. The universe is trying to teach you something, even if it's like the most craziest thing. Like, let's take, for example, like the death of a loved one or someone's dying, right? Even if it's an extreme scenario like that, it's just another reminder at of how short this life is, or how finite our time is. We're all on borrowed time. Every day we get a chance to wake up. It's a privilege to be here. We got work to do. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you can gain from life and also give back to life while you're here. So um there's something to learn there. Sometimes you might need that harsh reminder, because if you're anything like me, from time to time I forget. I take life for granted. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to wake up, and when that's not guaranteed. Every time I get a chance to wake up, it really should be like, wow, I'm lucky to be alive again. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just expecting it, of course, there's like a higher likelihood that you will wake up and you will go to work and do this, that, and the third, but it's never guaranteed. Like I've said in multiple episodes of this podcast, it's never guaranteed. So I think just constantly anchoring yourself back to that understanding of life being impermanent. That's a big word in the meditation community, in the spiritual community. Impermanence, which is, things are always changing, and you don't know. There's people, when you wake up every day, there's people that didn't wake up. Let that sit for a little bit. There's people that didn't wake up. No matter how hard your life is, somebody's got it worse. And that's in no way, shape, or form trying to discount what you went through or what you're currently going through, but it's a reminder to not take things so seriously. You know what I'm saying? Not let things affect you so much where it just rattles your whole system and it gets you so emotionally off track that you're making poor decisions, you're taking life for granted, whatever the case may be. It's just something to constantly remind yourself that power of gratitude is so powerful. I talked about it in so many different occasions with multiple guests. The attitude of gratitude is something else, y'all. It has the power to really change your whole state of being. If you really sit in it and you authentically feel what it's capable of. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I do my best to practice every single day to remind myself. And I want to share, on that note, I want to share a real cool kind of thing I learned from Steph Curry recently. It was in Game 7 against the Sacramento Kings. This was the game that he poured in 50 plus. I forget his final stat line, but he definitely dropped a 50 point game and led the Warriors to a Game 7 win in a hostile environment in Sacramento. And throughout the course of the series, he was missing a couple free throws here and there. He was forcing stuff. Everybody on the team was forcing stuff. That King squad really gave it to us. They really pushed us to our limits and tested us in a lot of ways. With that being said, in Game 7, there was a couple different instances where the camera was zoomed up on Steph Curry as he was shooting a free throw, and as the crowd was just raining down boos and trying to get in his head in order to make him miss the shot. And you could just see him on camera. He had this smile on his face, like this childlike smile, like he was laughing, right? It happened like 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, throughout that game. And clearly the result, if you look back, is the Warriors won that series in that Game 7 due to Steph's iconic performance, his epic performance. But he was asked about those moments by some media people at his press conference. And they asked him, say, hey, Steph, we noticed that, when you were at the free throw line, you had this smile on your face, like you were laughing. And they asked him to kind of elaborate on that and explain himself. And what he said was pretty profound. He just basically the message, and I'm going to butcher the hell out of it because I can't say it word for word. I would suggest you go online on YouTube and actually watch the interview yourself. But what he said was that he just took himself to another place in his mind. He reminded himself to just have fun, to smile. That smiling was an energy like that he manufactured in his own mind to manifest a result that he wanted, which is obviously to make the free throws and win the game. But if you follow Steph Curry's career, he's always been saying stuff like that. It's like you got to have fun, because if it's not fun no more, why are you even doing it? And this is his job, yes, and he's been successful throughout his whole career, and he's seen the top of the mountaintops, but one of the biggest components to that is that he's always remind himself to have fun, even when it gets even when he faces the most extreme forms of adversity. He always reminds himself to have fun, right? And I think that's just a great lesson, that no matter what's going on in life, no matter how chaotic it might seem, gratitude, having fun, doing things to lighten the mood and not take things too seriously. These are all things that we can do for ourselves. I know it's very hard in the moment because, we hold on to our feelings so strongly. But if you teach yourself how to do this, it's like one of the biggest life hacks. I have moments where if I'm furious about something sometimes, and then I have to just kind of like, just settle myself back down and be like, dude, chill, man. Like, it's not that serious. This is actually funny. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much to learn and gain from this stuff. So I think that was just a very valuable lesson that I picked up from Steph Curry. That I'm learning to apply in my life too. I'm just taking the lighthearted approach, the childlike approach, just laugh, have fun, not take things too serious, but at the same time have a sense of urgency, work hard, commit myself to my craft, and do my best to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But don't forget to always have fun. And I think on that note, it's just a perfect way to kind of tie things up here, because no matter how serious life can seem, whatever the case may be, like the simple fact that we're alive, you should have joy about that, that you're able to participate and experience. And, there's so many different things to be grateful for. So just use that as the anchor to bring yourself back to where you need to be, to bring yourself back to a good place when it seems like the sky is falling or the walls are caving in, whatever the case may be. These are things that you can do for yourself to make your situation better for yourself. Because the mind definitely is powerful enough to play tricks on you. And if you listen to what's going on in the mind, if you let it run on its own, it can lead you to some really dark places. So do yourself a favor, as I'm going to do for myself, and just take some of this advice, and just try to have fun with your experience, whatever you're going through. Learn, grow, experience, connect, love, all this stuff. We only get one of these things. As cliche as that might sound, we only get one of these lives, and every day that we wake up is another opportunity to live, and do your best to take full advantage of that, leave no stone unturned. And that's something that I've committed myself to, and I'm going to continue to commit myself to. And I'm going to just try to have fun with this experience. And before my time is up, I'm going to, at least I can, look back at my life and say that I lived it with no regrets, So with that being said, that's what I got for y'all today on today's episode. I hope y'all picked up some gems and some valuable wisdom here, because I definitely am paying so much more attention to life. I'm doing my best to tune in and tap into that higher source and trying to figure out, why is everything happening the way it's happening? You know what I'm saying? And what am I supposed to learn? What are you supposed to learn? And I'm just sharing my insights and sharing my perspective with y'all. And I hope that it helps in any sort of way. And if it does, man, please reach out. Hit me up on Instagram at CL _ the source, at Unlocking Levels, at Free Matrix Productions. I'm on Twitter, man, same handle, Facebook. Hit me up over here, drop a comment, like, subscribe, do all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with your boy. Like, I appreciate y'all showing love, and it's love right back. Always big love right back, man. Thank you so much, y'all. Peace and love.